Have you ever wondered what kind of phenomena our brain might experience? Well, in this video we will explain some of them, and in a very interesting way. In an inexplicable iceberg way, we will start from a weaker and go down deep to stronger phenomenons. Let's start with the first phenomenon, the placebo effect. Let me give you one example. If you ever fell on the ground when you were little and it hurt, but your mom came and told you that it's okay and that everything will be fine, you were under the placebo effect at that moment. Placebo is an inexplicable phenomenon in our brain that convinces us of what we think or what others tell us. This is how our brain convinces us that there is nothing wrong with us in this case of falling. Doctors started using this phenomenon in the 18th century by giving their patients fake medicine and telling them it would make them healthy. But in their time that was used when proper drugs weren't available. They even did fake surgeries by coating them with red paint, and when the patient woke up, the doctors would tell him that they had successfully performed the surgery. But nowadays, the placebo effect is no longer used for medical purposes due to ethical reasons. And when we are already talking about placebo in medicine, even when the patient lies the doctor that his therapy helps him, then the doctor is also under the placebo effect. So in some cases, the placebo helps us a lot, which means we should thank and celebrate it? Well, not really.
God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What?
Placebo effect can pass us by and lead to big disappointments because we lie to ourselves all the time. So these are all the reasons why the placebo phenomenon is so interesting and inexplicable. The next phenomenon is the déjà vu effect. This is one of the more interesting phenomena because most people have felt it themselves. If you've ever been in a situation that you think you've already experienced something, but in reality you didn't, then you've experienced the déjà vu effect. Here are some examples. If you go to a city you haven't been to before and you remember the street, you feel as if everything is familiar to you, and as if you've been there before, and you know for sure that you haven't. Or when you are talking to another person, and in the middle of your conversation, you feel as if you have already had this conversation before. Sometimes people even think that they dreamed the moment they are currently living because of this phenomenon, because it simply feels too real. Now let's move on to the explanation. Why does this effect happen in our brain? To be honest, I don't know how to explain. Some people think that this happens because our parallel universes glitch like a video game. And so the parallel universes merge for a moment, and that's why we feel this effect. While other people think that it is a memory from our past life. So what is the real answer to why this is happening? Okay, here's my answer. Scientists say that at that moment when we experience this effect, our brain makes a mistake and confuses the current event with some memory, so that we get a strange feeling why we can't remember this event from the past. Likewise, some scientists say that the déjà vu effect is related to dreams, and that we just had a dream similar to our current situation. And now that we are done with the déjà vu effect, we move on to mine your favorite phenomenon, the Mandela effect. If you're wondering why I said it's our favorite phenomenon, it's because we've all experienced it. At least I think we all did. So what exactly is the Mandela effect? The Mandela effect is a phenomenon in which a large group of people believe that an event has happened, while in reality that event has not happened. Or that many people believe that an event happened in a different way than it did in reality. Believe me, the examples will be clearer and much more reasonable than my explanation. So let's move on to the examples. Here, for example, the famous man from Monopoly is remembered by a large number of people as wearing eyeglasses, while in reality he does not wear them at all. And I forgot to ask you, when do you think Nelson Mandela died? If you thought he died in the 20th century, you're wrong. Nelson Mandela actually died in 2013. That's another example of the Mandela effect. It's not like the effect was named after him. Also, for this effect, there are many claims that it is connected with parallel universes again. But let's look at a few more examples of this effect, because they are honestly more interesting than the explanation itself. The next example is the color of the tail on Pikachu Pokemon. As Pikachu has black tips on his ears, many people thought that his tail also has black tip, while in reality this is not the case. Even some Pikachu figurines have a black color on his tail because of this phenomenon. And the most famous Mandela effect example is Looney Tunes. Many people believed, even I believed, that Looney Tunes is written differently than it actually is. That is, it is written in the Looney Tunes way. Now, why are we experiencing the Mandela effect? I honestly don't know. Actually, there is no scientific explanation for this effect, but of course there are many theories, and one of them is again related to the parallel universe. And of course the theory related to the Mandela effect is the theory of simulation, which of course we will not explain now. Finally, we move on to the last phenomenon. I didn't know this would last this long. This phenomenon is the scariest one yet, and that phenomenon is out-of-body experience. All people experience this phenomenon differently, but mostly it is a feeling as if they have left their body. This happens mostly while we sleep, so we get the sensation of floating above our bed, so we can see our body sleeping, while we can move around. In rare cases, it happens that you are far from your body. Some even reported cases of being in other countries, and some even on other planets. I honestly don't believe in this. The idea of out-of-body experience is ancient. It extends to many religions and beliefs. And what makes this experience different is what causes these experiences. So what can cause this phenomenon? One of the causes can be drugs. LSD, for example, when this happens, you don't actually go out of your body, but you lose all your feelings and you get hallucinations and you have the feeling that your vision is floating. And besides drugs, there are other ways you can experience this phenomenon. Meditation is one of them. When you meditate so hard that you imagine letting the world around you go and then fall into a strong trance, you can experience this phenomenon. Some people even manage to manipulate their brain and force it to experience this phenomenon. And now we move on to theories and explanations. Some people claim that these are paranormal activities, while others claim that these are just imaginations. Some studies say that this phenomenon is equivalent to dreaming, because even when we dream, we feel as if we are out of our body. And even some scientists claim that this is a defense mechanism, and that the body tries to defend itself or tries to warn us that we are in danger. And some even associate this case with astral projection. But all these are very hard to believe. So what do you think about this? Or all of these phenomena? I hope you found my explanation in this video interesting, and I hope you enjoyed this topic. If so, you can like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.